that is just not functionally possible. In this situation, if there's only one round of interviews, there would, if it was a commission level hiring, only 2 of us would probably be involved in that, and then the other 3, we ask questions in a setting like this. We try to trust the advice and consent of those 2 that do participate. If we have any concerns or questions, we can bring them forward in this setting. Now, Kimmy, we were informed of this hiring without having been able to have that conversation.
Correct. Like, in those situations that you're speaking to me hypothetically about, you were still informed as a commission person.
Yeah,
so to me, I sat uninformed, completely, 100%. And to me, that is not okay. And I understand I have different views and I push back for different things, but it's unacceptable. And for me, I will not vote or move forward without addressing these things that are very important. If this is happening at this level, and you say, oh, you should be able to trust the 2 that were in on the interview, but then there's dishonesty, what in the world? Like, how do you trust when there's dishonesty that's part of it? To me, this whole process has been shady and secretive. Why? If we are trying to do things, if we are trying to do things to serve our community, and we have this code of ethics, I sat here this afternoon in my house and read over this code of ethics. Observe ethical standards with absolute truth, integrity, and honor. What in the world does that mean if we are all not informed in the same way? And I understand you have friendships and things like that. This is major stuff. This is the highest level position of the library. This is not small things. And to me, I don't feel like this was done with truth, integrity, and honor. And it's not fitting up to law, so I have issues with all of this.
I just wanted to state that I do agree with you about the policies and procedures. I do think that maybe going forward that there is something that we can improve on as far as the process goes. But you, as a board member and all the members, when Danny gave her resignation, at the time that she gave her resignation, I can't tell you the date, November 8th, she gave her resignation to the board at the board meeting in the minutes, and then it said, it was asked, what's the next process then? I mentioned how we will go out and put an application out. I'm the one that reviews the library director's applications, and we set up an interview, and then we go through the process. So it was informed. It was never kept a secret, the fact that she was leaving and that we would be going through this process. What wasn't given to you, I agree that maybe I should have came, and when I was asked about me, I was caught off guard. I probably said the wrong words at that time, but in my email I did say that the fact is nobody had been hired yet. But we had to go through this extensive process of the backgrounds and everything. I could have gone to another meeting or sent out a meeting, or excuse me, an email to the board members saying, we have 2 applicants, here's their names, we will be doing the interview process, and probably kept you more informed. I apologize if I did not do that. It wasn't part of the process that I normally do, but it can be put into a procedure policy that we go forward with the library directors, and the policy and procedures that the board can go forward with, and making sure that we do a better job in this whole process. So I do appreciate everything that you do say, Kim, bringing things forward that we need to change. Yes, it's going to take time to make sure that we get it right and everybody agrees, but I do apologize if I did offend you as a board member for not giving you the information that you needed to make a good decision.
And I think everyone here, we should all try not to assign malice to something. I think in today's society we have a bad habit of like assigning malice to something that may just be a mistake. And I think we made a mistake here, in our process and in how we did this. And I would hope that we could move forward from that and not try to say that like somebody's trying to hide something or, put something over on us. Katie, I was as surprised as you were when I got your email. So I understand where you're coming from completely, and I agree. But let's try to not assign Alice where there was just a mistake.
I apologize if that came across that way, but it is, interesting to sit in a spot
And I'm not
of
just.
absolute uninformation.
But Kimmy, I'm not just speaking to your comments
Oh,
tonight,
okay.
I'm speaking just generally.
I hope I did not come across
I think
that
we
way.
all can, do a better job of that, because there's a lot of times where like, I feel like you're feeling right now, and I immediately feel like the world is against me, and it's just but trust me, I know how you feel, so, yeah.
I would like to have the idea of building certain process around this situation so that things like this don't happen in the future. I feel like, if you're gonna have, I honestly think that all board members should be in the interview process. It needs to be open in that sense, to have time to think through questions that we would like to ask a potential candidate like Ian. Instead of just get here and we just vote yes, because that's what we're expected to do. I don't know how to even go about doing that, making a process for it. Is that policy? I don't know.
I think so. I think, you know, if we look at, is there a city policy or is it a city tradition on how we've done it in the past? And then look at kind of what our expectations are, and, you know, we can maybe look at creating policy.
In general, applications are considered confidential because you may not want your employer knowing you're applying. And as soon as we have more than 2 board members there, everything must be made public. And so then those applications can no longer be kept confidential.
I don't think that's what she's requesting. I think she's requesting something similar to how we do with like director interviews for the city, like where we'll break it up into 2 different groups, or 3 different groups, if all 5 can, I mean, I think there's a way that we can function.
It'd be more like a meet and greet.
Yeah,
Sure.
Where you don't have the applications there, but you have the candidates there. You have an opportunity to visit with them, see how they react and things like that. A meet and greet, we can put out a public notice that says, we have a meet and greet for our library directors, here's all the applicants, you can come and visit them and everything, and then we post that as a public thing, because then public can also come in and visit and stuff. So that was my thought when she mentioned policy procedure, is maybe we do a meet and greet before we do an actual vote and stuff, but I just didn't do it.
It does speak to Marcus's comment, though, that does then say that they have applied and you have these level positions where people will not apply or don't want that out there. I know it's the same way it works at DSU and I've said on those, they are confidential up until a very late level, which is effectively this level of bringing it here, as we discussed. What I would have expected to happen, and it didn't happen here, is last meeting would have been the explanation of where it was and how many candidates, not by name, and where that hiring process sits. And then at this meeting would have happened effectively the same way, except you'd have expected it.
My thinking is if we have to worry about board members in attendance in the literal sense and having that classified as a meeting as we have so many other times before, that for future hirings like this, it wouldn't be remiss, and of course, assuming communication doesn't fall through, to have questions prepared ahead of time, have those given to the candidates so they can prepare their best answers, providing they're not peeking off each other's papers, and have those prepared so that we don't need to be in attendance to, quote, ask them questions, just to be prepared. So they're as prepared as we are, because we've had time to write the questions themselves, and then given them ample time to respond when they're not in the hot seat like Ian was here today.
And also when you do something like that, then there are no names, they're given a random number, and then that
Exactly.
way you get to review a person's answers without knowing the person.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good ideas. I just think that we need to make a decision whether we decide those things as a board, if that is in accordance with century code and bylaws, that we set up how things are going to go in the hiring process, then we need to move forward and do that, you know, and have discussions surrounding that.
Yeah, that's the creation of new policy, absolutely, and that's what we do, so I think definitely should tackle that.
Let's just be careful about saying that we need to create new policy. I mean, I think we need to look at the existing policy and, it might just not have been followed in this situation.
Is there existing policy?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know for sure, but I would imagine we have something in,
Where would that even be?
I don't have anything in writing. I mean, I've just been doing it as I was taught.
but is that a city policy on how we approach hiring of these positions?
I would assume it might be in the HR policy, but
Yeah,
I
that-
couldn't,
This
I
is
couldn't.
why I think it's so
Yeah.
important as
Yeah.
the library board, and this is why Century Code calls us to do it, is that we figure that out and we hold that responsibility. We are given that responsibility by state law.
I would be curious for the next meeting, if, Linda, if you don't mind doing some digging and seeing if there is any city HR policy, like, the reason why we've been doing it the way we've been doing, besides, like I said, tradition, if there is some policy behind that, and then we put on our agenda, a discussion, you know, if there is, you know, what does that look like for us, and we can further the discussion next month.
I'm fine with that. I would like to reach out maybe to the other libraries also, to find out what they are doing with city library board. How are they doing their hiring process? So
I
if
would
that's.
appreciate that information,
Okay.
absolutely.
No problem. So where do we stand here as far as, a vote to go forward as a board?
I have to abstain because I'll be voting on it in 2 weeks. The next week, whatever it is.
Do we need a motion for approval as a candidate?
Yes, you do, you need a
Okay.
roll call on it.
Okay, and I wanna make that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Well, second.
Alright, any discussion before vote? Waterman abstain?
Okay.
Aye.
Nay,
Aye.
don't take that personally, please.
So the motion carries. And you'll present that to city commission at their next meeting on.
January 23rd. Yep, January 23rd is the city commission meeting, and where I introduce the library with the recommendation of the library board's, vote.
Wonderful. Anything else for the good of the order?
I just wanted to say thank you for making a comment about malice. It is something that I feel directly in my day-to-day work, because I'm questioning everything now. And I appreciate you making that comment, because it just seems like oftentimes it's as if there is some sort of plan to do things sneaky. And I know that our staff is busy enough, but we do not have the energy to be trying to do something nefarious. So thank you.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.